Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today, in honor of my brother Jon Walmsley, I wanted to wish him a very happy birthday and do a special birthday segment celebrating Jon and his character of Jason. If you're enjoying these, please do hit like and subscribe. Jon was originally born in England, and his parents were English. So from an early age, he started doing work in voiceover. He was the voice of Christopher Robin in the Winnie the Pooh series. His parents brought him to the U.S. when he was quite young. So although he did still have an English accent for a few years, he had sort of lost that accent, or, it was easy for him to drop back into it, but he didn't in regular life speak with an English accent. So although he could then easily do Christopher Robin when we were doing the Waltons, it wasn't as if he was speaking with an English accent and then did an American accent for the Waltons. But he did various different early TV shows. I think some of you have mentioned some different things you have seen him on. And he also played instruments from a fairly early age. He started guitar when he was pretty young and added various different other instruments along the way, and had a chance to be part of the Disney movie, the one and only original family band, I think was what it was called. And he was one of the members of that family who played an instrument. It was a family full of kids who played instruments. So those were some of Jon's early beginnings. Jon had guest spots on various different early TV shows like Combat, Daniel Boone, all before he did The Homecoming. When it came to The Homecoming, Jon talked about how his mother picked him up from school and said, "You have this audition," and that there was something about a harmonica, and so she had brought his harmonica. So at the audition, Jon played the harmonica. So anytime you saw Jason playing the harmonica over the years in the series, that was Jon. He really did play the harmonica, as he did with most of the instruments that you saw him play. Of course, guitar is his primary instrument, but he also plays a number of other instruments. He did talk about with the piano that although he can play piano, he's not as traditionally trained. So when Jason was at the Kleinberg Conservatory and was playing these various classical pieces, Jon said he simply did not have the time to practice enough to feel competent at it. So often with some of those more classical pieces, he was sort of, like pretending to play, but it was actually played by a professional in the sort of music department. He was also the one who did write a lot of the songs that Jason performed over the seasons. He wrote things like Ironing Board Blues. So a number of those are Jon's original compositions. Some of my favorite scenes and episodes for Jon were, I loved him in Founders Day. I just thought that was such a great episode and really showcased him. Jason was kind of more sensitive and a real thoughtful sort of a person, and very kind and gentle. A lot of you have commented on that. So episodes where he struggled with decisions were very much a part of him. There was the episode where his unit over in the war was dealing with a sniper who was taking out members of his platoon, and Jason was the one that had to actually enter the building and locate this person and make sure that he was no longer a danger to his unit. And I've recently spoken about the episode The Conscience, where Jason went through the whole debate about could he actually, is he going to become a conscientious objector because he feels he may not be able to do what's needed. He may not be able to kill another person in the heat of battle. Ultimately, he does decide to enlist. So he had some wonderful episodes. And of course, we had some of those episodes with his fellow soldier, Ted Lipinski, where we learn more about what's going on in Germany and the concentration camps, even though it seems like it couldn't possibly be true. Earlier, there were episodes like The Family Tree, where he works with Verdi to help her find out about her roots. And some of these episodes were things that I think once Richard Thomas had left the show, and they had certain episodes that probably would have originally been John Boy's storylines, they were handed over to Jason. And John did a wonderful job of stepping up and playing those scenes and carrying those episodes. And so I really loved that he had that opportunity to do that. John, of course, had that wonderful storyline where he was part of Bobby Bigelow and the Haystack Gang. So he got to do a lot of playing and singing. And I thought it was great that the producers allowed that to be showcased, this natural talent that John had and has, and that they made that a part of Jason's story and allowed him to pursue a career in music. So he had all of those. To him, I asked him when I interviewed him what were his favorite episodes or standouts, and he mentioned a couple. He mentioned getting to work with Merle Haggard in the episode The Comeback, and what a thrill that was, because he, of course, knew of him and was an admirer of him and his work and his career. So he said it was great getting to work with him and doodle around on the guitar with him. And also the episode The Gift, he said, was probably his favorite. The episode he did with Ron Howard, where Ron was supposed to be his best friend who finds out he is dying of leukemia and makes that little flute recorder that he gives to Jason. And so for John, getting to carry that episode with someone like Ron Howard was, I think, quite a treat for him. And we all enjoyed being a part of that episode and getting to work with Ron. But that was a standout for John. Later in the series, we do see Jason meet Tony Hazelton. She is also in the military, driving some senior officer around, and the two of them, a romance sparks, and ultimately they get married. In real life, John and Lisa were dating, and they did get married, and they were married for quite a few years, and they have a daughter together. Later on, they did divorce, and John met another woman who he was fortunate enough to have a relationship with, and they got married and are still married to this day. His wife, Marion, is lovely, and we're happy for the two of them. Continuing in music after the show, John did a lot of studio work as a professional studio musician and had a chance to also tour with Richard Marx as his rhythm guitar player. So that was, I think, a great opportunity for him to be a professional musician, which is kind of where he felt that he primarily was a musician, although we all know what a wonderful actor he is as well. So he has gone on to produce CDs. He has, recorded his own CDs. You can go to johnwalmsleymusic.com to check out what CDs he has available. He also produced the Walton Christmas CD that we did, a Walton Christmas Together Again, and he wrote some of the songs on that and produced that, which is a beautiful CD. And it's hard to find, but if you find it, I think it is well worth a listen. A number of years ago, John and his wife moved back to England. She's originally from Germany, so being over there allows them the opportunity to more easily get over into other parts of Europe and visit her family and just travel. So he has gone back to his roots. So there you go. That is my little overview. John, John is just, he's lovely. And obviously we've known each other since he was 15. I was 13. Our birthdays are like a week apart. So we have shared many a birthday together on the set and shared cakes, from the cast and crew and all that sort of thing. And just over the years had the opportunity to do various different events together as the cast has, done parades and personal appearances and then these recording sessions. And I've always loved my time with John and my conversations. We tend to get into various different subjects that I don't necessarily talk about with other people. So He is someone very special to me in my life and always will be. So I want to wish Jon a very happy birthday, and I want to thank all of you for helping me celebrate my big brother, Jon, aka Jason. I will be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more Ask Judy. Thanks for watching.